We're going on our next topic. Rocco, it's your topic.
Okay, my topic. Let's get crazy with it. Let's get crazy with it. I don't know which one I want to go. I got two different topics. I'm trying to figure out which one I want to go with right now. Let's flip a coin.
Heads.
Steve, how do I get this page off of my screen right now? You kept sending stuff to me, and I don't want it to be this anymore. Okay.
I don't want this to be.
I don't want this to be this way anymore. Okay. So let's talk about. Let's make this a topic about No Man's Sky.
All right, let's do it.
Okay. I picked up No Man's Sky. Was it? It was like the first day it came out, which was, I think, the 9th or something like that.
Very recent. No Man's Sky. And those who you don't know, you're like, what the hell is No Man's Sky? What do I care about this game?
Okay, so yeah, about that, it's not just PlayStation 4. It's a video game. So my understanding is this. My understanding is that it was like they created it off the 64 line of codes, and it was able to generate infinite possibilities through that, so they can create like infinite universes and galaxies and stuff like that. Now, which sounds amazing and great, but what I've seen in just a week and a half of playing, and this is, maybe it would be different if I was a month and a half into the playing, but as of right now, not just from my own reviews, but also from my brother-in-law's, who's been playing this often too, is that it seems to be a little bit like repetitive. So it's a space exploration game where you're going to be doing like mining for materials, and you're going to create with those materials new weapons, new mining materials, new spaceships, new jetpacks, all different kinds of things. You're going to just improve that way. And it's an exploration too as well. So you're going to be going throughout the universe, exploring different planets, and like discovering new alien species and stuff too as well. And you can name them and do all these different things. But what I'm finding out is that it seems to be like, okay, there's a spider walking across the floor, and then in another planet, that same spider has maybe like horns, and he's flying though. You know what I mean? So it's like it doesn't feel like there's much of a difference in the worlds.
That sucks.
Now my brother-in-law has gone through it further than I have, and he says it gets a little bit more different, but still doesn't feel like you're really walking into a whole nother universe. Not universe, but another solar system, realistically, or galaxy.
So it does feel it sounds repetitive a little bit.
It's very repetitive. And then the other process is the mining process, which is like that's really all there is to it right now. It's just like okay. Now
what was that for those who weren't seeing?
Okay, mining.
That was mining.
Okay.
And this is the creation process of the new. That's all you really got. That's your two different routes of playing the video game right now. And then in space exploration, you got your shooter and stuff like that. You can play with the fighting in the space, and really it wasn't the greatest experience that I think it could have been. Now here's my brother-in-law's take on it, and I kind of see exactly what he's saying. He says that he feels like it was still in alpha mode, and they were just trying to release it as fast as they could to kind of get it out there. Yeah. That it still there was a lot more to it that they were should have been done before this game was out, and that this game just feels incomplete right now.
Well, I mean, they also said the other phenomenon about this game is that this game became bigger than itself, and expectations rose way too quickly. This game was never supposed to be the game that everybody, that a majority of people ended up wanting it to be. It was really supposed to just be this fun experimental game. It wasn't supposed to have all of these bells and whistles. So I think your brother-in-law is correct, but at the same time, I think this is by design. I think this game is coming out the way it was supposed to come out.
I think that's what the developer was trying to say the first day it came out. It's like, hey guys, I think a lot of people are going to have their expectations about something else. I mean, this is also coming up and following up behind the idea of a game like Star Citizen, where everybody's all over it. Star Citizen's supposed to be a full exploration game that's capable of any and everything you can really you could do.
Right.
Whether it combat, mining, whatever you wanted to do, trading, bartering, and traveling. And then
so there's no battling.
No, there is battling. First off, it's
players or just
First off, it's all NPCs. Supposedly, it's not an MMO, but it kind of is. It's an experimental game, like Clay was saying. It sort of is and it isn't, like in the sense that it's so big they expect that nobody would ever run into each other.
Yeah, that's what Alan was saying. Like he said, you could be like on a planet and he could be flying over it.
But at the same time, really though, it's not like it's an MMO in any way. Gotcha. You know what I mean? Like,
so there's players out there, but you just.
But I don't know
if it's an NPC or if it's a regular person.
The game itself is labeled as a single player game.
Right.
So I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, suppose other players via stream were capable of knowing they were in the same areas and stuff.
So is it like a Minecraft then? Like, can you build like?
No, dude. No.
I'm just asking because I have no idea about.
Yeah. So if you could not interact with anything, so Minecraft minus any interaction, and the only things you can do is pick for coal, but it doesn't change the environment. Like you know how you can dig in Minecraft, you can't dig.
Right. So it doesn't change it at all.
Yeah. So you get coal, and then you would build some stuff. I don't even know how many materials are there, Rocco. How many materials can you mine?
Well, I mean, tons of them right now. Okay. Tons of them, like titanium, iron, plutonium, and in that sense, it's pretty
plutonium.
Cool because it's I don't know, it's kind of showing you at least the chemistry behind things. Not the chemistry, but at least the term behind it, so you can kind of maybe like learn something there. But other than that, like, I get the experimental side of the creating 64 line kind of deal, and if I'm wrong there, sorry, write down in the comments and stuff like that, let me know, correct me please. I don't like to throw out misinformation, but that was what I believe I had read from an article, and that idea is really cool. Okay, so you're just creating infinite like world with that line, but like maybe if it had like, and I don't know how this works, but instead of 64 million, you know what I mean? Like, and would that mean that my aliens would never look ever the same? Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, or the planets and stuff like that. And if that's the case, I don't think I would mind this game as much if it was just that simple basic concept of exploring and mining and creating. If it really was like totally different from one planet to another planet to another planet, like you would expect to see in the universe.
Yeah. And I also would want to see the environment somewhat tied to the way the creatures or species have developed. Yeah. Like if it's a complete gas, big giant, right? I wouldn't expect anything.
Okay, this is. I'm watching like a video on it. Like I'm watching a video on it so far. I mean, it looks cool, like the way you scan the environment and everything. But the animals are just sitting there, like they don't attack you. Like these are giant animals, and these guys just walking around them.
No, some of them will, but most of them don't. You could like feed them, and they're like, "Oh, I like you," and they just.
Do you start off with a spaceship, or do you have to like get the materials to make your spaceship?
You have a space. So everybody starts off on their own planet, and their spaceship is crashed, and you have to go mine for the materials to create the products to repair your ship, and then from there you're gonna end up being able to go from like that planet to like a different part on that planet. You can fly around, but you can't yet warp drive from one planet to another until
now,
you get.
Do you have an air supply?
An air supply? Well, it's like a life supply, not an air supply. So like you have like a bodysuit, and that's so your bodysuit, your jetpack, your laser beam, you know, slash like mining slash weapon, whatever you want to develop it as, and your ship are the only things as of right now I've seen that are changeable. Like you can make your life suit have more life, your jetpack have better boost, your ship have more.
So there's some progression mechanic in there.
Yeah, but small. You know what I mean? Like that's the only thing there to keep you in the game, really. You know, and to find the center of the universe. But it's like, but if I'm fucking bored on the outside of the universe, I don't know if I want to spend the time to go find the center. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're not catching me right now, and I don't know.
I think it needs that level of Minecraft crafting and building. I think it needs two things. I think it needs the progression mechanics that are prevalent in Minecraft.
It needs the creation process.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, it needs that. Like, when you go to get a ship, you can't mold even the ship look. Like, you can't change out that ship front end with that back end and make it the ship that you want. Like, you get these ugly-ass ships, and you're like, well, I don't want to buy that ship.
There should be multiple things, too, that you can do, right? Like, you should be able to build a space station. You should be able to build like a greenhouse a la Martian, and with like food and stuff on a planet, and like different planets will require different materials to like house that greenhouse and like make it work in the different like vegetations.
That'd be cool.
That would be really cool. And then I think you're right, Rocco. I think there just needs to be more work put into a generator of random environments and species.
Even in the sense of like you get only a certain amount of slots per thing, you can't even upgrade that. So if you were like, I like that ship a lot, that looks like the best looking ship that I could find so far. but I can't operate at slots, so I can only have 12 inventory slots versus a ship that looks
internet.
terribly ugly,
Yeah.
and it's got 25. And you're like, but I want to upgrade this one and do whatever I can to kind of make it like, better. Why isn't that creation process is not there, existent right now?
The other thing that I want really quick is something like sliders. Like, I want to go to other worlds that are like Earth, and like, it's fun. Theoretically, they would have a similar timeline to us because they've evolved like us, and so there would be a World War II. But in this universe, like, it was just a little bit different, or like like Hitler won, or
like a jumper, kind of like a parallel universes jumper
but
game. Oh, dude, super sick.
Yeah, but like it wouldn't be a parallel universe. It would just be a different Earth that evolved differently, that had like just small different outcomes. Like, the nuke went on New England or Germany instead of Tokyo, or not Tokyo, but Japan, and like, what does that look like? Like, I want to explore that world a little bit.
That would be pretty cool.
But I don't know how you can
like the Native Americans won the war on the United States,
something
and then
like that. Like
something wild happened,
right? Like, how do you give me that information? Because that's a ton of work. You can't build that. Like, that's insane, right?
Yeah.
So do those worlds, can you just spectate, or can you just look at and read their history? But they have too high defenses, so you can't actually go in, or that's not part of your job as a researcher. You're just researching species. You're not going into intelligent life forms, because that's too much. That would be an interesting way to get around it. So you never actually go to the planet, but you read about them, and maybe there's some cool concept art that you can like kind of look at or whatever, like touch on them, but not actually go and interact with them.
Very cool idea,
right? Like, so like, give me Jesus. Steve needs to get back on. So like, give me something like that too, because that would make it really fun. Anything else that you want to say about No Man's Sky? We'll get Steve back, and then we'll wrap up.
I think I understand where a lot of people were coming in there with a different kind of expectation too, as well. Like, a lot of the trailer concepts and stuff like that felt like there was going to be a little bit more. Even so, like, here's the thing. Like, I get that a lot of people had expectations that were really unrealistic, but then there were some realistic expectations too. Like, the game should be enjoyable and fun, and that wasn't met. So that, I think, is making up excuses all you want, but you should have put a little bit more into it. I think that's where that comment of, I feel like the game was just not fully developed yet when it was just thrown out there, might be why I feel that way, because it just doesn't feel like it was to capture people in any way.
Do you think like my initial inclination is that people have tried it and they've kind of walked away now, and I like, even if this game came out with a patch, it probably wouldn't be significant. And I think it's gonna be really hard at this point to get people to come back to the game, because I think the fallout, like, most game sales happen within the first 2 weeks, first week that it's out, right? Now that most people who are gonna play it have already played it and kind of left with meh experiences, I doubt like any
bad taste in their mouth, and then I'm sure they're getting bad reviews
unless
right
it's
now. I haven't looked into
significant
that,
improvement. I doubt people will come back.
They would have to change the game.
Yeah, right. Or he could just work on
like
another No Man's Sky 2 at this point, right?
But I don't know if people would go back to that. You know what I mean? Like, I think they would just be like, unless you're gonna tell us before we even go to buy it that it's gonna be completely different and show us proof. Right. Then I'm done. Nah. Yeah. Then I think everybody's still waiting on that Star Citizen, feel and expectation.
That's never coming out. We know that's never coming out.
Dude, I would love for a game like that to come out, because that would be awesome, phenomenal. I mean, I see how unrealistic it is too to try to create something like that. But I mean, huge. How phenomenal it would be to be able to do what No Man's Sky was trying to do, at least with the exploration of like infinite possibilities, but then create like worlds within all that too as well, like a community. Like take a WoW and put it into space, and now you've got a space station that's now the cities, and you got to travel, and your PvP is through spaceship and first-person shooter. Yeah, dude.
Yeah, I know. Sign me up, man. Take my money.
It could just be like 5 different solar systems connected with each other. You know what I mean?
They really want to get
that. Just be that, and that would be cool with me.
Yeah. Well, there's Destiny, but that also fell flat on world building.
Yeah. I mean, they started actually. So talking about patches and stuff like that, though, Destiny did start.
Yes.
They
got better for sure. They got me back in.
Yeah, they got a lot of people. They were listening to their community, and I think they changed a lot of the game and the way it felt and played. That it's totally not the same play as what it was when it came out first day.